Welcome to the Trill NBA show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose, Anuha, aka the Trillest NBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Welcome to season 6! Hey guys, I'm back. It's Black History Month. What a time to come back, right? And I'm really excited about this new year, about this new season. I know Amarion, was on a world tour, acting a fool, but we are here. I hope that you guys are safe, sound, healthy. That's my wish for this year. And you might not be all the way to bright there, but my wish for you in 2020 part 2 is that you come out of this year with not just resiliency, but like a song in your heart, a smile in the inside, even if you don't smile on the outside and you want to show up as your authentic bitch face self. Let that be. And you get to luxuriate in that. That is my wish for you this 2020 part 2. Now, this episode is a normal episode. Guys, I'm so excited. We're back. New season, new episodes, new stuff. And this year is the year of paid and promoted. So before I get into the show today, we have our first Corporate Warriors Spotlight. So I be researching in these streets looking for amazing corporate warriors. And one that came up when I was searching for badasses is Dana Canedy. And I hope I'm pronouncing Canedy correctly. But Dana Canedy is an American journalist. She's an author. And she is also a publishing executive who worked at the New York Times for over 20 years. She won a Pulitzer Prize in 2001. She was appointed Senior Vice President and Publisher at Simon Schuster's flagship eponymous imprint, which is just a fancy word for saying it's the imprint that's called Simon & Schuster. In July of 2020, so, hey, right after, George Floyd woke up and like, hey, we got a good one right here. We need to promote her. And they did. And she's been amazing. She is the first African American to head a major publishing imprint. Now, why in 2020, in the year of our Lord and Beyonce, we still got, okay, it's fine. Slavery. Got it. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about her. This is amazing. So she graduated from the University of Kentucky and she worked at the Palm Beach Post and the Plain Dealer before joining the New York Times in 1996. She was named a senior editor at the New York Times in 2006. And in August of 2017, Dana became the administrator of the Pulitzer Prizes, and this was at Columbia University. This made her the first woman and the first person of color to hold the position. So all this time, nothing but white men held this position. And so she did this role from 2017 to 2020. And then in 2020, she was appointed to be the head publisher at Simon & Schuster. In addition to all of that badassery, the coolest thing about Dana Canedy is that she wrote the memoir, A Journal for Jordan, A Story of Love and Honor. That book came from an essay she wrote for the New York Times about the death of her fiance, U.S. Army First Sergeant Charles Monroe King. in the Iraq War and the journal he left for their son, which is amazing, right? So the coolest thing is the book was adapted into a film called A Journal for Jordan. It was co-produced and directed by Denzel Washington, one of my faves, and it starred Michael B. Jordan and Shantae Adams. The film was released on Christmas Day in 2021. So she is just probably one of those just amazing humans with an amazing story, and she's doing big shit. So listen, shout out to you, Dana. We appreciate you for blazing this trail and publishing. Thank you for all the work and all the things. And she's been doing the work, y'all. She's one of the warriors that's doing the work, trying to wake folks up to the realities of what it is. And so we want to honor her as Corporate Warrior Spotlight. So if you guys have any suggestions for Corporate Warrior Spotlights, email them to me at ask@trillmba.com. And I love to get nominations all the time, and we do, and we're listening, and you will be hearing them this season. So with that said, that's an awesome way to start off Black History Month during the shortest month and coldest part of the year. But you know how we do, we make it do what it do, baby, okay? So listen, today we are going to take an assessment, okay? And not the typical assessments you're used to. We're going to take some mental notes, and then we're going to put those mental notes, we're going to articulate our thoughts onto pen and paper, okay? Because we are going to get ready for this year that I have deemed the year of paid and promoted. Yes, this year we're getting paid and promoted. So for our first segment of this episode, just want to get a little focused on what we're trying to do this year. So this season, I'm really focused on the things that we all need to do, me included, to get us paid and promoted. So you will not only hear from me this season, you will also hear from thought leaders on career management. I'm working to bring some really awesome guests this season to talk through and talk us through and talk us off ledges and remind us we're not crazy and get us through all the obstacles that we will come up against as we're trying to get paid and promoted this year. See, many times we just need to make some simple shifts. We need to see some new perspective. And it's really about how we're showing up at work. And so knowing that that's what makes a big difference, we're going to deep dive into all those things that we need to do and ways that we need to show up at work. So this season is going to be all about the things that you need to start doing. And the first thing you need to start doing is you need to decide.
Huh?
You need to decide what you want for your career.
Oh.
So we're going to take a quick break. I want you to marinate on that. Don't get intimidated. Don't run. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what does it mean to decide when we get back from the break. And we're back. So guys, what does it mean to decide? It's not that deep of a philosophical question, actually. I went to Merriam-Webster.com, and the first two definitions really break it down very simply and very well. Number one, to make a final choice or judgment about. So in other words, decide what to do. So you make a final choice or judgment about something, person, place, thing, situation, whatever, your career, right? Okay. So the examples would decide what to do. Couldn't decide whether to take the job or not. I said, well, Merriam-Webster, you knew I was coming here today. Look how God orchestrated that. That was great. Now the second, like B, so it was 1A, 1B. It says to select a course of action used with an infinitive. Decided to go. Let me know if that hits you a certain way. Decided to go. So you already know this season, we're going to talk about decide what to do and decided to go. We're going to talk about all those types of things because sometimes in the course of deciding to get paid and promoted, you have to decide what you're going to do and you have to decide to go. So why is this so important? Decision, this action that I'm asking you guys to do. You gotta understand, without a decision, you actually don't have anywhere to go if you don't decide where you're going. Like, you might get pushed along, you might get pulled through, you might get tossed around, but until you decide where you want to go, till you decide what you want to do, very rarely are you going to move up the career ladder without making that decision that you're going to climb to the next rung of the ladder for your career that you're on for your career, right? So my sisters, I need you to decide right now that you want to move up, that you do. And I know some of you, it's fine. Some of you going to listen to this and be like, Felicia, I ain't come here for all that. I'm good. This check good. I'm good. Ain't no stress. I done figured it out. I done got to a place. I'm a subject matter expert. I ain't trying to have no direct reports. I'm good. Okay, sis, I hear you. I want to give you something to think about. And it's not just about the money. I want you to take the money out of it for a second. What's one of the biggest complaints that we have right now, especially as Black people in these workplace streets? Or to just throw out some things. Talk to me. I know I can't really hear you, but I feel you. I hear you and I feel you deep in my spirit. The biggest thing that we are complaining about right now is the lack of representation. And we keep saying representation matters. Representation matters. We need representation. If your employee base doesn't reflect the population of where you do business and the population of your consumers, then there's a lack of representation. Okay, so who's going to serve as the representation if you don't want to get promoted? If you don't want to move, who's going to be up there? If you don't do it, then who? I want you to think about that before you decide that you opting out of getting promoted, okay? Now, if you're with me, the other thing I want you to do right now is I want you to decide that you want to make more money in 2022 heading into 2023. So not only do you want to get promoted, but you want to make more money, okay? Because I want to share with you a story of one of my friends who recently decided to make a pivot from the public sector to the private sector. She was so excited, you guys. She was like, oh, I'm about to make some real money because right now I ain't making no money. I was so excited for her. And the funny thing is, she's like, oh my God, I get to actually do jobs where I use all of my degrees, like all 3 of them. I was like, at once? Why they do that at? That's too many degrees. But she was telling me this story. And so she was saying, I reflected and I decided I'm leaving and I'm going to get a new job and I'm going to get out there. I'm going to make more money. And then the next thing I know, there's a recruiter in my inbox. It was like magic. I was so surprised. And now I'm in this interview process and that's like a job that will allow me to do all these things. And I'm so excited. I had to pause. I said, did you listen to what you just said? You said, I decided. So one thing I know for sure is that when you decide and you say, I decided, there's this shift that happens and the world kind of opens up and says, oh, you decided. Well, then I guess we're going in the direction you just decided to go. And sometimes, you guys, it's just that simple. But first, you have to decide. Now, we're going to take a quick break, pay some bills. And when we get back, I'm going to talk about the most important thing when we get back from the break. Now, before we get out of here, guys, we're going to talk about the most important thing. So listen, I am hoping to make this the trillest season ever. My expectation is that every week, you and me, together, we will learn, and I will simply serve as your humble yet ignorant and sometimes funny and fun and crazy and safe space guide to help you get to the place that you are deciding to go for your career. So over the course of the next week, I have some homework for you. Okay, you ready? Ready for your homework? Got pen and paper? If you're in the car driving, you might want to just listen to it and then come back and listen to it one more time with your pen and paper. But I want you to take some time this week. I want you to, if you have to block your calendar and do it during the workday, block some focus time or some thinking time and say, I'm going to think about my career. Okay. But I want you to take some time and write down where you want to go in your career in the next 18 to 24 months. Alicia, why 18 to 24 months? I mean, that just seems so random and that's a long time away. You're talking 2024. I thought we were talking 2022. Listen, on average, when I'm working with my coaching clients, it takes me 18 to 24 months to walk them to and through promotion. That's my typical timing. So as we are working to set up what it looks like for you to get promoted, and we're starting this season and we're going to carry it over to next season, it's going to be 18 to 24 months. But we're going to start now, okay, with 2022. So that's why. But I want you to think about where you're trying to go. I want you to decide. And don't think about how it can't happen. Don't get unfocused. Don't be all like, I really want to, but I don't know. Oh, Felicia over here giving us homework. I don't listen to your podcast to get no damn homework. I'm just trying to get these tips so I can just deal with these crazy ass people at my job. Okay, I get that, but I need you to focus. And I need you to focus on what you truly want. And then I need you to write it down. I want you to articulate it to yourself. And I need you to be 100 with yourself too, okay? Don't bullshit yourself like you. If you are bullshitting yourself, then what the rest of the world gonna do with you? Don't do that. What you want, girl? I don't care how big it is. I don't care how hairy it is. I don't care how crazy it is. Write it down. And here's the thing. Here's the caveat. If it's really big and hairy, I got some really big and hairy goals, y'all, then what we need to do is think about what's step one. What's the first thing that I need to do in the next 18 to 24 months to start to accomplish my goal? And then I need you to write that down, okay? And once you've done this exercise, I need you to do me a favor. Share it with me. I want to hear what your big, hairy goal is. I want to hear, what you're thinking, what you decided that you want in the next 18 to 24 months. And I want you to hit me up on social media. I want you to email me and let me know what you decided for your career. Okay? Please, 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 please. I can't wait. I'm so excited. We're going to do this, y'all. We in this together. You are not alone. And I know sometimes it feels lonely. I know sometimes you feel misunderstood. And I know sometimes you go through bullshit. Well, hell, I know all the time you go through bullshit. But we got this. We're in this together. If you need some help or advice about a specific situation, go to trillandba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me, yes, your guide, to strategize and walk through your specific work situation. In addition, you can always email me at ask@trillandba.com. I'm happy to either answer your question or connect you to the right person if I don't have the answer, because I'm only human, y'all. But I'm a problem solver, so we can solve all the problems together. Again, that's trillandba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me, and ask@trillandba.com to submit your question or concern or listener letter. Send me listener letters, guys, so that we can talk about it on the show. I won't say your name, but I definitely want to use your experience to be a lesson and teaching moment for us all. Again, #we all we got, right? So hit me up. I'm looking forward to this new year. I know it's still crazy, but we're going to make it. And this year, we're getting paid and promoted. You get a promotion. 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 All right, guys. Until next time, keep it trill. The Trill MBA Show is a Fair World Corp. LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.